go. Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a brand new video today. Now today I'm going to be talking about Mattia Binotto. Now last year after the Russian Grand Prix I released a video on my YouTube channel basically calling for Mattia Binotto to be kicked out of Ferrari as team principal. And back then, reasoning for kicking Mattia Binotto out is because I believed at the time, and I still do to this day, Mattia Binotto was pitting Sebastian Vettel against Charles Leclerc in order, obviously, to eventually kick Sebastian Vettel out. Now, obviously, if I had a magic crystal ball, by the looks of it, I was absolutely 100% almost correct. Now, okay, we will never know the true reasoning why Vettel has been let go by Ferrari and by Mattia Binotto and has not been retained beyond 2020. However, neither here or there, that's all now the past. And what is the past is the past. What is the future is the future. However, I also believe, that Mattia Binotto has failed as team principal of Ferrari, regardless whether he, dismissed Vettel or not. Now, if we look at basically how long Mattia has been in the team, he's been in a Ferrari top position since, obviously, 2016. He's been the chief designer, if I'm correct, since 2016 after James Allison left, surrounding circumstances where he wanted to be closer to home due to his wife and his wife's ill health, I believe it was, or she passed away or something like this. And I still pay my respects to James Allison to this day, of course. But Mattia Binotto took the helm. First year wasn't quite as good for Mattia Binotto. However, second year, everything was seeming to click. He built a decent car, decent engine, and yeah, he did a decent job as chief engineer. Then, obviously, in 2018, things went again positively for Mattia Binotto, and there was no reason to question why you would get rid of Mattia Binotto. However, after the passing of Sergio Marchionne, which used to be the CEO of Ferrari, after he passed away, I believe this is when the Ferrari politics erupted in Maranello. And yeah, it was quite evident that it erupted, not so much with the signing of Charles Leclerc. I think the signing of Charles Leclerc made sense looking at it. Obviously a young driver, he proved himself in his first season of Formula 1 against Marcus Ericsson. He scored a handful of points, he looked quick, and probably, is quick, and he's proven it time and time again now. There's no questioning that. He's a race winner, multiple race winner. However, the thing is, despite that, after the dismissing of Kimi Räikkönen and the arrival of Charles Leclerc, Mattia Binotto from the outset, obviously first we come to the dismissing of Maurizio Arrivabene, but from the outset, Mattia Binotto, as soon as he took the role, basically made it almost evident in 50-50 situations Vettel would be prioritised. Now, personally, I don't know why Mattia Binotto said this. I understand, obviously, Mattia may have felt at the time Vettel is still number one. He's the one we have to still back. But I don't know, and I don't believe he said this with his heart, soul, and passion, whether he truly backed Sebastian Vettel, the four-time world champion, or whether he was just saying it to keep Vettel happy at the time. Personally, I believe it could be the latter, to keep Vettel happy at the time, rather than saying that actually both drivers will be given equal chance to fight. I think he was just saying it to keep Sebastian happy at the time. Now, this becomes, I think, very evident later on in the season. And the reason why I say it becomes later on in the season, especially around, obviously, Monza and Russia. Reason why I say these two Grand Prix, if you go back to these two Grand Prix, in Russia, despite obviously Vettel being ahead on circuit, clearly the faster of the two Ferraris, Mattia Binotto clearly deliberately sabotaged Sebastian's race through putting him on a slower pit strategy. Okay, yes, his car still broke down, so maybe it wouldn't have made any difference in the end. However, the point is, Ferrari clearly undercut Sebastian Vettel with Charles Leclerc due to the fact he felt it was unfair what happened back at Singapore, where Vettel undercut or made his strategy work in Singapore and undercut basically Leclerc and won that Grand Prix. So basically, from there, since then, both drivers have been somewhat equal to race. However, the thing is, it's not just they've been equal to race, though in reality, okay, they haven't been free to race, neither driver. Okay, in Brazil, they did collide, and I put that more down to a racing incident, because I've seen bigger contacts in Formula 1 between teammates where, basically nothing's happened. Both drivers have gotten away with it and been okay to race. Whereas in the contact in Brazil, I thought was bare minimal. Yet, the wheels come falling off Charles's wagon. Now, if we look at what Mattia's so far done during his time as team principal, well, he's built a legal engine, number one, because somehow this year they've lost 7/10 down the straights. He's built a very slow car in the corners, and overall, the team's just been crap at everything. Qualifying, race pace, it's been a complete flop. And Ferrari are flip-flopping right now, and there's no one in that team I see stepping up, taking leadership of that team. And the thing is, I feel very sorry for Charles Leclerc and for Carlos Sainz, who's coming into this Ferrari team. There's no one at the helm saying, right, this is the direction we're going in, guys. I don't think Mattia Binotto has got a clue of what he's doing as team principal, to tell you. I really, really don't think he's got absolutely bloody clue what he's doing with Charles Leclerc or with Carlos Sainz next year. Because that Ferrari's still going to be slow. How are they going to find 1 second back? And even if they can find 1 second, I'm not being funny, it's still not enough, because they need to find 2 seconds to overhaul Mercedes. So they need to find 2 seconds within the space of a season. That's not going to happen. I'm sorry. So the next 2 seasons, don't expect Ferrari to be, don't expect them to win the championship. Don't expect them to win many races. I really wouldn't. Unless some freak miracle happens where Mercedes break down every single race. Literally, that is the only time I think we can, as fans, expect Ferrari to win a Grand Prix. Which is quite sad, really, when you think of it like that. But as I say, I feel sorry for, the 2 drivers currently going into that team and currently in that team. I feel sorry for Sebastian, because he's got a dog of a car that basically he can't even drive because it's undrivable. Charles Leclerc's somehow managing it just about, but finding it very, very difficult and is off the pace. He barely scraped the podium last week, and if it wasn't, that race was, had no incidences, no safety cars, Charles Leclerc would have been probably 7th, maybe 6th at best. This is maybe 6th, but at worst, he was 7th. That's it for Charles Leclerc. 7th place in a Ferrari. Vettel would have been probably 8th or 9th, and that's in a Ferrari. In a Ferrari, we're talking Vettel, a 4-time world champion. We're talking Leclerc, a double race winner, only 7th and 9th for Ferrari. That is how bad Ferrari currently are. And even this weekend, apparently they've got updates. I don't know what them updates were or how they've improved the car. However, P16 in FP2 and, 9th in FP2 for Leclerc and Vettel. Not good. Really, really not good. So, whether them updates were, good job, guys. I know they are claiming, we're running mileage, but I don't buy into that. Why would you run mileage when potentially qualifying could be postponed could be postponed. And if it doesn't go ahead tomorrow, on Saturday, FP2 may be the qualifying results. So meaning Vettel will be starting 16th, Leclerc will be starting 9th for the second Austrian Grand Prix. And also, them wins from last year, well, they were illegal, That's a simple fact. Ferrari have built a legal car. They've built a car that's 1 second slower than last year's car. What more is it going to take for the board of Ferrari to say, you know what, enough's enough. Mattia, you've failed to deliver. You've cost our star driver, Sebastian Vettel, his seat at Ferrari. You're fired. What is it going to take? I honestly don't know. I've seen Ferrari team principals in years gone by. The team principal who followed Stefano Midicali, or however you pronounce his name. Sorry if I've pronounced your name wrong, Stefano. But the team principal who followed him was sacked after 6 months. 6. Maurizio Arrivabene lasted 4 years due to the fact he actually was a pretty decent team principal. He did the job. However, Mattia Binotto, who has barely been in the team for, as I said, well, he's been in the team at the helm of Ferrari for also 4 years now, but, been team principal for just a little bit less, 1 year, 1.5 years. As I say, what has he done? Absolutely nothing. And I know I'm being very critical, very harsh of Mattia Binotto here, but at the end of the day, look, I've given the guy 1.5 years to prove himself. All he's proven to me, he's a flop. He is a absolute flop, that guy. He has not deserved any bit of credit, okay, for any race win last year. I'm sorry, he doesn't. He is a absolute complete flop. That he couldn't control or keep the relationship decent between Leclerc and Vettel. He politically played, that wrong. Then, on top of that, he's built a car 1 second slower than actual last year's car, which would indicate to many people, certainly not just me, that last year's car was illegal. Which I just find so funny. And the thing is, you can't even say, oh, it's a drag issue, because we know last year's Ferrari wasn't actually that draggy. Apparently, according to many people, it was one of the most slipperiest cars on the grid. Very lacking downforce, because it was very slow in the corners. It wasn't the fastest car in the corners. It was actually quite understeery, as cars go, apparently. So, overall, what we're concluding, and what I'm concluding, Mattia Binotto's failed his job. And quite honestly, I feel sorry for Carlos Sainz, who's coming in to replace Vettel next year. I really do feel sorry for Carlos, because I don't know why he would actually want to go there. I'm sorry, Carlos. Why would you want to he's jeopardising his career, surely. This team Ferrari is a joke right now in its current self. It ruined, obviously, the careers of Felipe Massa, Fernando Alonso, Sebastian Vettel, Alan Prost. And you really want to risk your own career when you could have stayed at a harmonious McLaren. I wish you good luck, son. You're going to have to really, really work out how you're going to do that. I really do wish Ferrari and Sainz and Leclerc good luck, because I really don't see I don't see Ferrari number 1 winning a Grand Prix till 2022, so that's 2 years. Ferrari fans, for Tifosi, are going to have to wait to see the red car back on top of the podium, and that's if they win a Grand Prix in 2022, and that's a long way away. And I think it's time for Ferrari, the CEO board of Ferrari, to actually say, you know what, let's sack Mattia Binotto. And I think anyone who disagrees is a complete lunatic, or just enjoys seeing Ferrari at the back of the grid. Which, I personally think Ferrari should never be at the back of the grid. I don't think Williams should be at the back of the grid. Well, someone has to be at the back of the grid, but Ferrari at the back of the grid. Oh boy, just imagine that. Ferrari slower than a Williams. And it's possible. It really is possible. So yeah, in my opinion, Mattia Binotto should be sacked. And that's it. Get someone new in. Get someone fresh with a bit more intelligence. Thank you for watching. Until the next time, have a great day.